right. So today is a little bit different. We're going to spend this particular session creating a new temporary character. This will not be the story of Ardell Santos, but rather of Elisa Matal, a Fa nomad widow, who found Ardell in a state of wounded malaise and his equipment broken and battered. And as she arrives at Ardell's camp, among the base of a large black monolith in this blue sands of Vaarn, we find her story is only just beginning. But she has a past. And what is that past? And we need to kind of create a way to play out her story without just a flashback scene and then getting back into it. Last session, I struggled as a player, and Ardell struggled as living in the sands of Vaarn was kind of brutal for him. And I didn't want to get into a mindset of this sucks or this doesn't feel good. So I want to take a break from that particular storyline just for the moment. But I do want to stay within this world, stay within this campaign setting, stay within these truths. I still want to play on Vaarn. I want to play with Starforged. So we're going to use Starforged and Vaults of Vaarn to create a new character by the name of Elisa Matal. Now, Elisa Matal for this will be a fully fledged character, but she's not really going to have a background vow. Her starting incident is going to be based off of her ongoing personal conflict, which we rolled up last session. And I think we'll go from there. So, what do we do? Let me turn down my background music. And let us go through a few things. Now, Elisa Matal is already going to be a name that I'm going to struggle with. I struggle with names that start with A and L. I have a mild stutter that was worse when I was a kid, but now I just sort of bumble over my words when they start with A. So I might change her name, but for right now, Elisa Matal is her name. And I might have to say her full name just so I can get it out. All right, Elisa Matal. I've decided to change her stats a bit. I know that we had a different set of stats, but I've gone with 3 of edge, 1 heart, 1 iron, 2 shadow, and 2 wits. That being said, there's no mechanical sort of player character options to be a Fa nomad. And because Fa nomads are straight up a different sort of character or different sort of personage than the rest. They're not Trukin, they're not Kakajin, they are not new beasts, and they're not synths, and they're not Cacklemoss. You know, they are their own sort of entity. So I went with 3 of edge because of their quick and sort of hit and run sort of things that they do at night in their they do sabotage runs, and they're quick and they're sneaky. So that's why I upped her shadow from 1 to 2. And with that, they're also quite observant because of that. So her wits went from up to 1 to 2. And being ostracized and leaving from her original kin, her heart is 1. And that's just how likable she is, how well she's able to influence others of her will and that kind of thing, and her charm. And heart and iron, she's not very strong, but she relies on her edge and her shadow to get things done. And so there is that. So another thing to keep in mind is we're not going to add a whole bunch of huge character creation things to this. It is more just so I can use some functional things here. And her health, her health will be, I'm just going to do H, right? H for health is going to be set at 5. Spirit will be set at 5. And supplies will be set at 5. And her momentum will be set at +2. Okay, so this is all that we really need to know about her right now, are these mechanics. And she speaks Fa tongue and also Varnish. Varnish is more like, in terms of fantasy world RPGs, is like the common tongue. Most people can speak Varnish because of trade and stuff like that, but she speaks Fa tongue. And one thing I like about this is that there's no written language, so there is an element that of oration and sort of mythology that these people have, and so that'll be interesting to explore if we get to that. The other, I want to roll up like an item or something that she has on her person. And in the rules of Vaults of Vaarn, which I'm not using to play the game, I'm using it for the lore, there is like a list of, roll to discover the source of your inner power. So I'm actually going to do this for her and see if she gets anything interesting. Or she's going to get 1 exotica. Yeah, roll once on the table. If you roll the same, another player take the next available option. Yeah. And I believe, yes. Because she is a Va and mystical, maybe I will have her have some sort of mystic ability. So let's roll a d20 here. We have 13. Brain surgery, source of power. Oh, so she had something done to her brain. And what is her gift? 6. Invisibility. Ooh, okay, so I will write had brain surgery can be invisible. Now this sounds like a trait that we could probably pull from with these cards, the Iron Sworn abilities and such. So I think I want to try to see if I can't find one. Healer, sniper, seer. Oh, you know what? There should, I believe, outcast might be an option for her. Armored courier, veteran, gunner, faded. No, sleuth. Shade. Drawing on esoteric energies, you may instantly cloak your form in the shadowy veil of the void. Whenever you are veiled and make a move to ambush, hide, or sneak, you may preset your action die to 5. In darkness, make it 6. On a miss, in addition to any other cost, you are revealed and can't reveal yourself again until your current situation is resolved. I think shade is definitely something that she wants that we definitely want to give her. And she has that be invisible trait. I kind of want to give her something. Scavenger. When you gather information or resupply by scavenging a wreck, ruin, or abandoned site, add 1 and take 1 momentum on a hit. So that is something that that she probably is out and about. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then I don't think that she doesn't need a support vehicle. She's not doing that. Okay. And I think I'm only gonna have these 2. I know that most. Ooh, we got an interesting bug here. Come on, you. Get out of here. Out of the window. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that. I think that she's also going to heal. So she is out there being, what do you call, when she's out in the blue sands of Vaarn as a scavenger for her tribe. And she stumbles into the camp with Ardell Santos. Right. But now we're going to see how she got here. And I think that we already know what her inciting incident is going to be. So I think her inciting incident is going to be directly related to her personal conflict that we rolled up, which is this. Wedding plans, soon to be bride to a rival leader. So I think this is exactly what happens. Her husband was the leader of this particular tribe, a small tribe of Fa nomads. So nothing really out of like not a large tribe, but it was a smaller tribe that like probably splintered off and moved on from the main group. And her husband was the leader of this particular tribe. And this particular tribe ran into another Fa nomad tribe that probably saw them as weak, and the rival leader slew her husband and basically absorbed their tribe into his. And as per the custom of their particular ways, the rival leader has the option to marry the new widow to sort of bridge the gap and sort of heal the wound, so to speak, to bring both of the tribes together. She didn't want that. So we are thrust right into the situation where there's a political sort of tug and pull of her husband being slain by the very man that she's being asked to marry, by her own tribe as well. Her own tribe is trying to follow for what's best for the tribe. And the rival leader just benefits both ways, gets a larger tribe in return and gets a spouse. So her inciting incident is the fact that she doesn't want to do this, and she wants to flee away from the tribe that is now no longer under her or now her late husband's control. So this is going to be a move here. Now, we're sort of starting a very first quest. And her inciting incident and vow is flee from this new tribe. And we're going to set this as a troublesome, just because I want to get it is going to be 3 boxes per progress. And we're going to start this off with a bang here. We're going to... She's probably going to swear an iron vow to try to get away from this tribe. And she vowed to herself one night, and she opened up her palms and looked out into the wide, dark blue night sky that faded into a dark purple, which faded into the dark, I don't know very many colors for purples and blues, but you get the picture that the sun is basically down, and the sky is just a myriad of purplish blue colors, along with the sands of Vaarn. Also the cerulean blues and cobalt blues and indigos, various things like that, all throughout her vision. And she just looks down, and while she herself doesn't have iron to swear on, she is aware of customs, and she is part and parcel, because she's a nomad and she scavenged various areas and learned other customs when she was in small trading tents and healing those that needed it and talked to them. So she has a diplomatic knowledge of what she could do. And so she looks out and then puts her shades on, her wind shades on, which kind of tint the colors even a little bit brighter and makes things a little bit crisper. It's for seeing things through sandstorms and keeping water in her body. Her suit is on, she puts her goggles on, and then she sort of kneels and does a bowing of head and looks straight ahead to the horizon and says, I need to flee from this place. I vow to rid myself of this horrible situation. What can I do? And so she's going to make a vow to get away. And that is her quest. That's her iron vow, is flee from this new tribe. It's going to take her a bit of finagling on what to do. But let's make that first. And she has no bond with this place. Her tribe, she's not bonded with them anymore because it's not technically hers anymore. The people are asking her to marry them, or to marry the new leader. So she can't add the +1. But we got a 3 and a 3, plus her heart is 3. So that is a miss with a complication. On a miss, you must overcome a significant obstacle before you begin your quest. Envision what stands in your way. What stands in her way? The man that she is being asked to marry comes into her tent in that very moment of her making that vow to herself. And she has to sort of change her demeanor and change her look and sort of present differently. And that is the thing that stops her. So that's her miss. So she's unable to finish that complete vow and that full on commitment to herself. She has to sort of shake it off and say, not now, later. And the complication is that, what does he want? I'm gonna roll on some core oracles here. I'm gonna roll on. I want to roll on action and theme to see why he's interrupting her. 53. Hold. Okay. Hold. That was a 3. So 36. Hold. Hold fear. Okay. So we got the rival leader needs a name, and it's a Fa. So I'm going to pull up names for... I need names for somebody here. I'm going to name him. Gosh, let's do... Oops, I don't need that. I need a D20 for this. 1. Benjo. I don't like that one. That name doesn't roll off my tongue nicely. 4. Kazor. Okay, so Kazor the what? Kazor the... Let's roll his demeanor. Kazor the Amused is his name. Kazor the Amused leader, right? He is the leader now, but he's trying to make, not amends, but he's trying to make moves into acquiring the wife of his rival to blend both of his tribe with their tribe. And he is going, he says to her, hold fear. I think he's coming in here to, in his mind, he's coming in here to tell her to calm and to be okay with this. It's just the way of things. It's the way we do things. And to hold fear, meaning in the way I'm interpreting this is to hold back, like hold back fear, like don't hold into fear, is to let go of fear, right? Like hold fear, or like keep it at bay. That's the way I'm reading hold fear myself. I know it could be meaning hold on to fear, like you better be afraid, but I don't think that that's what he wants to do. Someone named Kazor the Amused is probably somebody who I have an idea that he's just doing things by the tradition, by the book, and he slew this fun nomad leader in fair combat, apparently, and just wants to reassure his new wife, soon-to-be wife, that by the end of the day tomorrow, I hope that you will see me in a different light. I am not such a bad man if you just get to know me. Right? And like that's his sort of thing, and it sort of puts her off guard a bit. So they have to spend the rest of the evening just kind of getting to know each other, and she really does not want to do this. Therefore, that's the complication, and that's why mechanically she can't really move forward in this obstacle to try to flee from the new tribe yet. So what can she do here? I think what she wants to do is, I think she is going to make a secure an advantage move to assess the situation, make preparations to gain leverage while they're talking. And so she's going to probably use her stealth and trickery to try to sort of tease information out of him and be sort of, she's going to be, let down her guard, so to speak, only to him. She still very much wants to be here, but she's sort of deceiving her intentions. So we're going to roll plus shadow, and none of her abilities really help for that. She's not trying to hide. She's not scavenging a wreck, so she's not doing anything. She's not healing, so none of her traits help her. And so let's do this. Oof. 1 plus 2 is 3. We got another miss. We are me as I'm rolling like CRAP right now. Okay. So we got on a miss, you fail or your assumptions betray you. Well, pay the price. Assess the situation. I think she's assessing his total, like, is he true to his what he's trying to do? And I'm gonna roll pay the price and then see what it ends up being, because I like rolling tables. 39. The environment or terrain introduces a new hazard. Okay, so that speaks to me like there's a sandstorm. That okay, perfect. I got this. Okay, I know exactly why her assumptions betray her. She is sussing out every corner of the conversation for a leg into his apparent evilness or whatever. Kazor the amused as she scoffs in her head about cannot be this genteel after, in her head, brutally murdering, in her head, her husband. She just wants to leave. But then all of a sudden, as she sort of gets up to take a deep breath and to compose herself to come back to the conversation, he jumps up and comes over to the front of the tent, which is open to the rest of the camp. And the flaps of the tent are starting to go really fast. And then the whole tent just starts to lean, and then winds whip up really quickly. And Kazor the amused goes, Metal, down! And tells her to get down on the ground quickly. And she knows about the storms. The Fa are very, very familiar with how storms work. And she must have gotten caught up in the conversation and lost her train of thinking. And then Kazor storms out of the tent, ties the tent shut, and sort of with a bunch of hide rope, so the tent door won't flap open. And she hears him yelling, "Get that! Tie that down! We must save the herd!" And he's yelling he's being a leader. He's doing things what a leader would do to save and to take control of the situation. And all she did was cower in fear of potential what he would do. The storm came up, and that was her sort of, she secured no advantage, and she just is struggling with her emotions in that moment and gets locked in sort of her own fear in her tent. We cut to the next morning, and I believe the sand had died, the storm had died down, but there's sand kind of built up on the tents, and people are going around making sure everyone's okay, handing out small rations of food and the little water they have. And Kazor comes in, and before Kazor comes in, I think Alyssa wants to do gather information and try to search for, what is she searching for? Well, she wants to find ways that she can leave this place, because she can't go on foot. She's going to need to gather a mount, which they do have a myriad of mounts available to them. Camel-like beings, new beasts, not new beasts, but like animals that are well equipped to be in the arid climate that they're in. which I know that there are some in the book. I just don't remember their names. Yeah, there's the Wark Cammer. There's the Weeping Lizards, and there was something else too. Yes, the Iron Mule, things like that. So there are mounts that she has access to. So she's going to try to go around the area and sort of, she's going to, I think, yes. So she's going to sort of gather all the things that she might need and sort of count what she needs to leave this place. So she's going to roll wits, which is a +2. Oh my lord, another 3, and it's another miss. Okay. She's going to pay the price because she unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines her quest. Things are just not going well for her. She goes up to where the mounts are, and Kazor is there talking with a tribesman that is in charge of taking care of them. And what is he doing? But he is in the pen with the herdsman, helping him feed the animals. He's a good leader. And this is not looking great for him, and it seems like he is everywhere that she needs to be to get things done. But what to pay the price is I think she's going to lose her spirit, because her spirit is being tested here, and every move that she makes, Kazor seems to be there being an affront to what she's trying to do. Not necessarily not making her stay, but also hindering her ability to leave by just doing the things that he's doing as a leader. So her spirit is going to go down. And I think it's going to be a major hit with this. Going to go down to 3 on this. And then she's going to try to endure this. I'm just going to reread the suffer move. Endure. When you face mental strain, shock or despair. And this is more like mental strain. Things are not going well for her. Then, then if your spirit is 0 or you choose to resist the stress, I think that she wants to push through this, because she wants to be stronger than she is being allowed to be, right? So she's going to roll plus spirit or heart, whichever is highest, which is her spirit is 3. So she's going to roll plus 3. Okay. Well, we got a 1 and 9, so we got a 2 plus 3 is 5. So it's still a weak hit. And a weak hit, you may lose momentum in exchange for +1 spirit. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And narratively, that makes the most sense. So her momentum goes down to 1, and her spirit goes back up in exchange. I think she wants to maintain her spirit. So her momentum goes all the way down to 0. And mechanically, that makes the most sense. But narratively, it means that she's there, and she's just sort of taking more time to do the things. And honestly, what I think happens is she is not transfixed, but sort of staring in disbelief and awe at this man who, in her head, again, murdered her husband and leader of the tribe, is now in the pen with the herdsman, shoveling the crap and feeding the animals alongside him, sending a lot of mixed signals to Matala. I think Matala is going to be her name. Matala is going to be her name. Matala is very easy for me to say, and it's just going to be Matala. Matala. Okay. So Matala is kind of staring in disbelief at Khazor and is just shaking her head. I need to get out of here. This is not good. So, the next thing that I would like to happen is what? We're sort of at a story standstill where she's not been able to make any progress. So what I want to do is inject some story element or something. So I'm going to go to the Vaults of Vaarn book here. And I'm going to... There's a source of conflict in a lot of these things, but I kind of want to roll on this a couple of times and maybe on they have. So let's see what livestock that they are actually taking care of. They're taking care of cattle. Okay, so that's the cattle that they're taking care of. And 7, boredom, conflict, boredom, and 16, addiction to drinks. Okay. I see. So boredom, there's a conflict of boredom. And I'm going to say that it is due to the fact that normally the tribes gathered together quickly. And this has been maybe several days of Khazor talking to and trying to persuade Matala of the virtues of being his wife. And she wants nothing to do with it. But he seems to be allowing her to make those decisions and not jumping right into it for whatever reason. I'm going to actually ask the Oracle why, and not the Oracle, sorry, not the Oracle. I'm going to ask why doesn't he care? You would think that some faction that wants to absorb a tribe and to combat the uneasy sort of alliance between the two tribes after a battle with a marriage, why he is allowing this to happen for so long. This sort of like, no, wait from Matala. So I kind of want to... do I want to... Yeah, let's do action theme. 15. Breach. Okay, breach what? 96. Breach a warning. Breach a warning. Let me just write this down. Allowing time for Matala to, quote, think on it, because breach warning. Okay. I'm going to have a quick think about this, and this is real time. It's just how I play. Breach and warning isn't quick for me. And if you have gotten to this point, and if you are someone that likes word prompt stuff, if you have something for breach warning, let me know to see what you would have thought of. But as I'm thinking of breach warning for why Khazor the Amused is allowing Matala to sort of take time to think on it, is I'm going to use the warning as the fact that he knows that Matala is not willing and able right from the get-go, so forcing her to do it is not going to be seen as proper for the tribe that he is acquiring, is trying to bring into his own tribe. The breaching part is that that's exactly it. He's trying to breach into the tribe in a way that is that is as fluid and as painless as possible. They lost people in the fight. He got hurt in the fight with Matala's husband. So he wants this to go as smoothly as possible. But doing so causes sort of a tension between the two tribes, where they have to live with each other, next to each other, when they know they just had a battle about a week ago. And it's been like quite a number of days of this back and forth. And as we can see, in terms of the mechanics, she kept failing her attempts to just outright leave. And I think that she wants to stay to take care of business with her tribe. So, what does she do now? I kind of want to have her make... I think that she is going to try... Yeah, I think that she's going to try to compel some of her tribespeople to help her with this situation, ones that she knows that she can trust. You know, family members or trusted friends. And she is trying to encourage them into helping. So she is going to roll heart. It's not her best stat. And she doesn't get a bonus to this. 6. Oh, wow. We were lucky on this one. So she got 7, which is a strong hit. They'll do what you want or agree to your conditions. Take +1 momentum. So her momentum goes up from 0 to 1. And I envision her coming up to a couple of her tribe's people. And she's talking to them about, you know, not wanting to be part and parcel to Kazor the Amused prize, if you will. And while most of them sort of agree that the situation is not ideal, they understand that the customs are better for the greater good of the entire tribe to survive in the harsh wasteland that is the sands of Vaarn. But she comes up with the reasoning of being unable to go out and get something, and utilizing her scavenger sort of trait as a bargaining chip. If she is to be the bride to this leader, unlike the previous leader, her husband, they were co-leaders. She would be his submissive wife and would not have the ability to utilize her nomad traits for the good of the tribe. And so they come around and see her point. And they help her sort of come up with a reason for her to leave camp quickly to go and scavenge for a wreck that's nearby. Now, one thing I want to do here is, where are we? Now that we know that we're going to be near like a nearby scavenged wreck, we can look at my sheet here. There is a varnished wreck over here by this dried up lake, which looks interesting. There could be this abandoned city area. We also could be in any of these other hexes as well. But I kind of like the idea that she was in this abandoned city area. So her story starts here as the Vaarn nomads. So I'm going to write. I'm actually going to write underneath right here. Fa nomad territory, and that is where they start, is in this area here. So she's going to start her journey in the Vaarn nomad territory, just quote south of the abandoned city, and that is the wreckage that they are talking about. So they come up with an idea to have her use her knowledge and her skills as a master scavenger, a master Fa scavenger, to go and lead with a small party of people. And so I'm going to use this as progress. Because we can fast forward time here and go to the middle of the day, where after she woke up and saw a Khazor with the herdsman, and then also talked with her compatriots. In the middle of the day, not a great day not a great time to go and leave camp. But her ability to scavenge well, and she convinced her tribesmen to spread information to have it come back to Khazor, that they need to make a quick sort of scavenge run to the abandoned city to get supplies for the camp now that it's been after the battle. And so that's exactly what happens. And he puts together a couple of his own men and asks that she bring 2 of hers. So there's a party of 5, and there is him and 2 others that they're going to go northward into. So she's leaving camp. She's leaving camp. All right. So they've left camp now, and I think now they're technically going through known route. So they're going to do set a course. You follow a known route through perilous, hazardous terrain or within a mysterious site. So we're going to roll supply as they start going, and they have a couple of camels. They have like a water jug satchel thing that they're carrying. So they have enough to do like a there and back again sort of small excursion. And so let's see how they do. A 1 plus supply. So her supply is 5, so that's a 6. So that's a weak hit. On a weak hit, you arrive, but face a cost or complication. Choose 1. We can suffer cost, make a suffer move, -2, or -1 for 2 of them, or face a complication as a destination. I think we're going to face a complication at the destination. Envision what we encounter. Okay, so the general sort of travel up through to the camp is fine. So we have to suffer. You know what makes the most sense is that because it's the middle of the day, I think that we're going to lose supply. We're going to lose 2 supply. Oops, that's spirit. That is 5. Supply goes down from 5 to 3. I assume that they go through more of their supplies, food and water, because it's the middle of the day, and they normally travel at night. So that makes narrative sense as well. This is an out of character sort of thing, by the way. So I think with this, they get there, but the complication is going to be, and what is the complication? So let us go and look up. There is complications. Story complication. There we go. So let us roll to see what sort of complication happens. Oops, 20. That was a 20. 26. Key location is threatened or made unsafe. Okay, well, that makes the most sense to me. Is I think that the abandoned city excursion becomes unsafe due to the abandoned city. So ruins have their own rules in here, by the way. So let us look at ruins. Here we go. Vaarn is studded with fractured remnants of the works of the ancients. The desert, a dolorous mosaic of squandered ambitions and forgotten marvels. Broken by time and eroded by the mastication of the azure sands, these vessels are known to house both horrors and wonders. Okay, so we know that it is a abandoned city. I thought that we had... It wasn't a lair. Nomad camp. Hold on. I thought that we had like a whole thing just for ruins. Abandoned city. Oh yes, here we go. So this is what it is. What was it? And then and now settlement, trade post. I'm trying to find, varnish wreck. Condition. Oh, here we go. Cause of this stuff. I'm just gonna roll this d20 and 11. Nanomachines. Okay, so due to nano machine infestation, right? So that's interesting because so as the party comes into the abandoned city outskirts, the nanomachines in Vaarn are everywhere, and they're usually is part of everything. The Fa, they understand that it's there, and they are generally pretty good at avoiding places that have the nanomachines, but they try to stay away from them. And that's the complication. As they arrive, there's a nanomachine infestation area that's effectively, in terms of like game mechanics, it's like a poisonous area that they need to get through without becoming infected themselves. So I think with this, it's starting to be in the latter part of the earlier part of the evening. So it is starting to cool off. So Kazor and the party, Matala being up front, utilizing her area. She's going to use her scavenger ability to gather information to sort of get a better idea on where these nanomachines are the least troublesome and where they can navigate through this space. So she's going to search for clues and try to analyze the area a bit to try to find the best way through. And she's also thinking in the back of her head, I want to set a trap for her. If she succeeds in doing this, I think that we're going to cross off another progress on this flee from the new tribe. Ooh, 2 and an 8. But we got a 3 plus her wits is 2. So that's a 5. That's a weak hit. On a weak hit, the information provides new insight, but also complicates your quest. Envision what you discover, then take +1. So we take, add 1, so it's actually a 6. So it's still not an 8. It's still not better than an 8. And 1 plus 1 momentum on a hit for the scavenger. On a strong hit with a match, something else happens, but that's not what happens. So we add 2 momentum, so we're up to 3 for momentum. So she's gaining a little more forward momentum. Mentally, she's a little bit clearer because she's out of the camp, and she can breathe a little bit better mentally. And she does indeed. There's something that complicates the quest. So I'm going to say that she does set up a good sort of scenario on how best to maneuver the small party of Fa nomads through this area successfully. But she also knows the way back out. And she's going to make a little bit of markers through just that she can understand. And she tells her compatriots the same. But in a moment of she's about to tell them something, this is the complication. This is the thing that complicates the quest, is that she gathered the information correctly. She got the environmental hazard has been successfully triumphed over. I can't think of the correct word, but Kazor looks to her and says, well, you found a good way through. I hope you can do it again on the way back. And the complication for him is that he is now like next to her, like watching her every move and making sure that she doesn't do things untoward or suspicious. So now everything that she needs to do, she needs to do in a low-key surreptitious? No, wait, what is that word? I'm thinking of the word, but I can't say it out loud. Surreptitiously, I can't say it. Whatever. Quietly and without being seen or noticed as well. You know, something like that. Oh, my tea got cold. That's what happens when I start talking too much. Okay, so she gets a +1 momentum because she gathered the right amounts of information and the investigation to the area. But I think the next thing that she's going to do is she's going to attempt something risky. She is going to face danger, but she's going to face danger with deception. Because she is trying to deceive the party and her prospective husband, Kazor, the Amused. And she's trying to lure them into a false sense of security with her abilities to find and scavenge things. So she's starting to point things out, and they are gathering resources and stuff, and they're going to travel back during the night. So I think what she wants to do now is that she wants to, now that the sun is starting to go down, she is going to utilize her shade ability, her ability to go invisible. So the situation is this, is that they are about to set up a small, like, central hub of a camp where they can keep the animals and the pack animals, but then go out into the outskirts of this abandoned city safely and scavenge things and bring them back. So there's two parties. One with Kazor and Matala, and the other party are the 4 other Vaarn nomads, and they're going out to fan out to find materials to bring back. And so it's just Matala and Kazor together. And she finds a situation where she could use her ability, but she has to be sure that it's going to succeed. And this is going to help her be free if she can do this. So drawing on esoteric energies, she may instantly cloak her form in the shadowy veil of the void. When you are veiled and make a move to ambush, hide, or sneak, and she's there to sneak and hide away, you may present your action die to 5. In darkness, make it 6. Now, I don't think it's straight darkness. I think it's just a 5. On a miss, in addition to any other costs, you are revealed and can't veil yourself. So, we're going to make this a 5. Not a 6, a 5. So she's going to try to hide and sneak, and her shadow is 2, plus 2. And I guess she could try to secure an advantage to make that an 8. But I think she feels fine with plus 7. A 7 on the action die. A 6 and a 10. That's just enough to be a weak hit on face danger. You succeed, but not without a cost. Make a suffer move of -1. Okay. So, suffer move, she could lose momentum. She could lose health, spirit, or supply. So I'm going to choose she's going to lose spirit. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to say it's going to be a lot of spirit. It's going to be 2. Suffer move of -1, never mind. It is a 4. Okay. So she is going to lose her spirit because as she cloaks and goes invisible, and then she looks out into the world, and the world is a little brighter, but a little less tangible as she's in this veil. And she's sort of sneaking around the area in a spot where Kazor had told her to go look, and she went and then used her ability to sort of sneak away. And the last thing that Matala hears Kazor say is, "Matala, this is not nice. You have seen what happens when I am not a nice leader." And with that, there is a progress, because this does help her leave. But that spirit, that loss of spirit, is remembering that she's leaving her clan, leaving her tribe. But she feels free. She feels ready to move on from this situation. And maybe one day she will return, and maybe one day she will deal with Kazor and his stupid, amused grin on his face. But I'm going to have to leave it there for today. That was wild. So we're going to leave it with Matala having just snuck away using her Shade Path ability to get away from her traveling, scavenging tradespeople and her unwanted prospective husband, Kazor, as she sneaks away silently from the camp. she's going to attempt to fulfill her vow, where she reaches the end of her quest, and we're going to roll this, and the progress is 9 out of 10. So effectively what we're trying to do is get underneath a 9. Double 2s. Fulfill your vow. On a strong hit, your vow is fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest legacy track per the vow's rank. 1 tick on the quest legacy, and any allies who shared this vow may also mark reward. So we get +1 quest tick. And this is now complete. And as she sighs in relief, she looks back and sees the far off camp light. We're going to end there with Matala walking silently and invisibly, starting through the night on the sands of Vaarn, in the cerulean maw of Vaarn itself, in search of something new. Who knows what she will run into in the sands of Vaarn, but that will have to be next time. So, until next time, folks, I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.